The First Battle of Bull Run was a clash between two inexperienced armies. The Union Army, composed of eager volunteers, underestimated the Confederate forces. The Confederate Army, though smaller, had the advantage of familiar ground. The terrain provided cover for Confederate maneuvers and surprise attacks. Control of key positions like Henry House Hill was crucial. The battle was chaotic, with communication breakdowns and tactical blunders. Casualties were significant, shocking the nation and shattering illusions of a quick victory. Let us imagine a different outcome. What if the Union had won the First Battle of Bull Run? What if the tide of battle had shifted in their favor? Let us explore this counterfactual scenario. Imagine a world where the Union's initial advances held. Suppose the Union Army, instead of faltering, had maintained its momentum. Imagine if their flanking maneuvers had succeeded in breaking the Confederate lines. Picture the Confederate Army demoralized and disorganized, retreating from the field. This victory would have sent shockwaves through the Confederacy. A Union victory at Bull Run could have had profound consequences. It could have significantly shortened the war. It could have prevented the immense loss of life that followed. It could have altered the course of American history. The capture of Manassas Junction would have been a major strategic victory for the Union. It would have opened the way for an advance on Richmond, the Confederate capital. The fall of Richmond could have dealt a crippling blow to the Confederacy. It might have even led to its collapse. A Union victory at Bull Run would have had immediate and far-reaching consequences. The Confederate government, facing the loss of its capital, might have been forced to sue for peace. The war could have ended before it had truly begun. The early end to the war would have saved countless lives. The carnage of battles like Antietam, Gettysburg, and Vicksburg could have been avoided. The nation would have been spared the immense suffering and devastation that accompanied the war. The Confederacy's defeat would have solidified the Union. It would have affirmed the principle of national unity. It would have prevented the secession of other states. The nation would have emerged stronger and more unified. The quick resolution of the conflict would have also impacted the issue of slavery. The Confederacy's defeat would have weakened the institution of slavery. It might have even led to its earlier abolition. The emancipation of enslaved people could have occurred sooner, sparing them years of suffering. A Union victory at Bull Run could have fundamentally altered American history. The nation might have been spared deep divisions and lasting scars. An earlier end to the war could have led to a different Reconstruction era. Resources could have fueled industrial growth and infrastructure development. Earlier emancipation might have accelerated civil rights advancements. A Union victory at Bull Run would have had significant international implications. European powers, observing the Union's strength and resolve, might have been less inclined to recognize or support the Confederacy. The Confederacy's hopes for foreign intervention would have been dashed. The quick resolution of the American Civil War could have also impacted global politics. The United States, unified and strengthened, could have emerged as a major player on the world stage. The nation's influence in international affairs could have increased. The absence of a prolonged conflict would have also influenced global trade. The United States, as a major producer of agricultural goods and raw materials, could have played a greater role in the global economy. The nation's economic power could have grown. The outcome of the American Civil War had a profound impact on the world. It demonstrated the strength of democratic ideals. It inspired movements for national unity and self-determination around the globe. A Union victory at Bull Run could have further amplified these effects. A Union victory at Bull Run could have led to a very different Reconstruction era. The process of reintegrating the Confederate States into the Union might have been more conciliatory and less punitive. The focus could have been on rebuilding the nation rather than punishing the South. The absence of a prolonged war could have fostered a greater sense of national unity. The bitterness and resentment that lingered after the actual Civil War might have been mitigated. The nation could have healed its wounds more quickly. The earlier emancipation of enslaved people could have led to a more just and equitable society. The freedmen could have been granted full citizenship rights and economic opportunities. The nation could have avoided the legacy of Jim Crow and racial segregation. The Reconstruction era was a critical period in American history. It shaped the nation's political, social, and economic landscape for generations to come. A Union victory at Bull Run could have set the nation on a different path, one marked by greater unity and equality. Speculating on the societal shifts that might have occurred following a Union victory at Bull Run is, well, a fascinating exercise. It allows us to explore the potential consequences of historical counterfactuals. It challenges us to think about the complexities of cause and effect. A quick Union victory could have accelerated the process of industrialization and economic development. The nation's resources, no longer consumed by war, could have been invested in infrastructure, technology, and education. The United States might have emerged as a global economic powerhouse even sooner. The earlier emancipation of enslaved people could have led to a more rapid advancement of civil rights. African Americans could have gained greater access to education, employment, and political participation. The nation might have moved closer to achieving its ideals of equality and justice. The social fabric of the nation could have also been different. The absence of a prolonged war could have fostered greater tolerance and understanding between different groups. The nation might have avoided the deep social divisions that persisted for generations after the actual Civil War. Exploring counterfactual scenarios, such as a Union victory at Bull Run, can provide valuable insights into the past. It allows us to examine the contingency of history. It reminds us that the past could have unfolded differently. By considering alternative outcomes, we can better appreciate the significance of the events that actually occurred. We can understand the factors that shape the course of history. We can learn from the mistakes and triumphs of previous generations. Counterfactual history also challenges us to think critically about the present. It encourages us to consider the potential consequences of our actions. It reminds us that the choices we make today will shape the future. Studying counterfactuals can help us to avoid repeating the mistakes of the past. It can inspire us to strive for a better future. It can deepen our understanding of the human condition. The First Battle of Bull Run, regardless of its actual outcome, holds a significant place in American history. It marked the beginning of the Civil War, a conflict that would define the nation for generations to come. It shattered the illusion of a quick and easy victory. The battle also revealed the deep divisions that existed within American society. It exposed the fault lines of race, class, and ideology that would continue to shape the nation's political and social landscape. It served as a wake-up call for both the North and the South. The battle's legacy extends beyond the Civil War. It continues to resonate in American culture and consciousness. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of national unity. It reminds us of the importance of striving for peace and reconciliation. The First Battle of Bull Run is a story of courage, sacrifice, and loss. It is a story that continues to fascinate and inspire us. It is a story that we must never forget.